I now invite Honourable Judge Doctor of Law Professor Vitaliy Urkevych, Secretary of the Grand Chamber of the Supreme Court of Ukraine, to share his response.
Thank you so much for invitation. Thank you to Mr. President Lord Reed for such interesting speech, and it made me following responses. First of all, for all Ukrainian judiciary, the United Kingdom Supreme Court approach to the ensuring of the courts and judges' independence is extremely important. It is obviously that an independent judicial system is a guarantor of justice and human rights. Courts must be protected from pressure by other branches of power, political forces, and private interests. For Ukrainian courts, one of their priority goals is building a proper communication with the society. Transparency and accountability of judges is key to building citizens' trust to the judiciary. Actually, I may say that now Ukrainian Supreme Court is developing a communication strategy in which a lot of issues must be established, including the ways of communication with the society of individual judges, and as well as the communication on behalf of the court. I believe that this work will have the result of increasing transparency of national judicial system and improving the public's understanding of its role. As far as concerns the cooperation between different countries in relations of matters of substantive law, which was mentioned in the Lord Reed's speech, I must say that Ukrainian legal system now has features of mixed jurisdiction. I mean that more than 70 years, the socialistic legal system was built. Till 1991, Ukraine was a part of the previous Soviet Union, but now we have legal instruments from a different legal system. For example, in accordance with the national legislation, Ukrainian courts apply the case law of the European Court of Human Rights as a source of law when considering cases. Also, conclusions of the application of the legal rules made by the Supreme Court must be taken into account by all Ukrainian courts when applying such legal rules. Now, it's very important for Ukrainian judiciary to become a part of the judicial system of the European Union. That is why it is especially remarkable that Ukraine was granted an observer status at the annual meeting of the network of the presidents of the Supreme Court of EU in 2022. Actually, right at the beginning of this year, on February 24, a full-scale invasion was launched by the aggressor state, the Russian Federation. The war affected every Ukrainian. All areas of our life caused a wave of internal and external migration. The property damage caused by the Russian Federation as a result of hostilities to the population and businesses is estimated more than 500 billion euros. The damage to the environment is about 71 billion euros. So Ukrainian courts faced a lot of difficult legal issues related to the war in Ukraine, but the most important of it concerns bringing the aggressor state to the liability. On April 2022, the Supreme Court held that after the beginning of the war in Ukraine in 2014, the Court of Ukraine, considering a case when the Russian Federation is the defendant, has the right to ignore the judicial immunity of this country and consider cases on compensation. Maintaining of the judicial immunity of the Russian Federation will deprive the plaintiff's right to a fair trial under the Article 6 of the European Convention of the Human Rights. I hope that courts of different countries will agree with such approach to the judicial immunity of the aggressor state in the procedure of the enforcement of Ukrainian courts' judgments about collection damage caused by the war. Finally, I think that the importance of such events like now lies in the fact that they allow to bring together professionals from different countries to share experiences and jointly search for solution. In today's world, where borders between countries are increasingly blurred, only cooperation and dialogue can ensure effective justice and protection of the interests of each person. I really believe that joint work for building a just society is not only an opportunity, but also our responsibility. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Honourable Judge Doctor of Law, Professor Vitaliy Urkevych, Secretary of the Grand Chamber of the Supreme Court of Ukraine, for your response.